Good YouTubing, everybody. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. We really do appreciate it. And as always, we'd like to thank our viewers, subscribers, and our members, because without you, we're not us. So let's talk about SAMUS ARAN from Good Smile Company, Metroid The Other M. This will be number 133, and it's available now for order. Guys, let me know what you think about this figure. Are you going to purchase it or not? But right now, let's roll them off the stand, and let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the appearance. Now, if you know the game, it's not quite accurate, but it's very close. Just a few color variations, right? So let's take a look at the helmet first, right? So you're looking at the helmet, you're gonna get this red color. It's gonna be touched off with some metallic finish to it, which is real smooth, and it looks pretty decent. Also, the visor itself, you see that green color? It would have been nice if you could see the eyes of her face, anything in her face inside. Usually you get that with some, but this one you do not. Don't know why, but it does look good, and you do see the reflection. Very nice there, but it would have been great to see the eyes behind the visor. That's the thing, okay? So let's take a look at the neck. You see where the neck is, where the ball and socket is, where you can rotate the head. This is just some plastic. It should be PVC. It will look a lot better than this bulky looking plastic. It looks very tacky. Let me go up close for you guys. It just doesn't look really good. It's okay. It's just plastic, very hard plastic, right? Okay, so you see that there. So looking at the figure, standing alone, it looks really good standing up. But so taking a look at the shoulders, of course, those are proportioned. We do know that she has the bulky shoulders, right? That's right. Okay. Now look at her chest here, where the green is, and you can see the green here and green here. Quote me if I'm wrong. I think this is supposed to be at a yellow color. This is supposed to be a yellow color, kind of a fluorescent color. This is not. This is some cheesy green paint they use. Would have been nice to use that visorish color on the straps here, but let's get a close look. You see it? That is very cheesy. It's still on that nice red metallic finish like the helmet, but look at that green touch. It's just, it looks like Mattel. Just real fast color. It doesn't look great at all. You should have had that grooved in and put some of that fluorescent touch to it. And I think it's supposed to be a yellowish color, not green at all. So I think that's wrong there. Like I said, quote me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if you think it's any different. But I think that's supposed to be a yellowish fluorescent color, or maybe the color of the visor. But you see it there. Looking at the body of the figure in this yellowish metallic color, that's correct. You do see the black in the grooves, like the joints, I mean. You can see the black there. That blends in well because it's a suit, so that kind of takes away from it being a joint, being that it's in a suit. We do like that. So you do see the burnt orange metallic finish, which looks correct. Let's take a look at that hand there, right? There you go. And that looks really good. The finish is good. The paint doesn't seem like it runs off anywhere. However they did the coating, the finish coat, it looks really good. So a fan of that. Let's take a look at her plasma weapon there. Okay, same with the paint. This is supposed to be more of a, I guess, a fluorescent color, but then we're getting this cheesy green again. Let me get you a little close look at that. You're getting that cheesy looking green, and I think that's supposed to be a more yellowish color. Okay, and then you'll get more on the back of her legs there. You see that green? It's cheesy. It's not, it doesn't look good. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it back around. Now you're looking at the spikes that come up. Those look really good, just like the video game. You do have them protrude out by the knees like that, and then you have them by the foot, by the ankle, and coming out on top of the foot there, right? That looks really good. Okay, so let's go and take a look at her back. Here we go. You do have that jetpack, right? So the jetpack, you have vents there on the jetpack. What is lacking is, I mean, do something like Hasbro does with Iron Man. Give us some fire effects, you know, a little bit of fluorescent fire, and you can just peg them inside. Let's take a look at that closely so you can see that. You see, just put some pegs in there and you just put some fire effects. Don't leave it just as is, especially for the price. But you do have that metallic finish, just like the helmet and the front of the suit. and it's okay. It's not that great, and there goes more of that tacky green paint, right? Okay, and then you see that the joints are all black, right? Pertaining to the suit, you're getting this PVC plastic look by the legs here. I do like that. Like I said, that should have been, if you look real closely, that's more flexible plastic is what they should have used here by the neck, I think, right? So looking at the figure itself, and there you know the air intake there, that looks pretty decent. Let me get you a close look on that air intake. It's not bad. Just no reflection. No reflection of her inside the visor. Man. Okay, but there you have it. For me, I think the figure looks really well. Just a few minor paint incorrect, but hey, it doesn't look bad. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this figure as is. Let me know. And that will do it for the appearance. Okay, so let's give her a size comparison. Nothing really fancy. I just want to show you what it looks like with another figure. There goes Tifa there. You see that? There's a little size comparison if you want to look at that. Not too great. I think she measures at, let's go ahead and measure on inches. We'll give her an inches measure just to throw that in there, okay? So we got the inches there. I know her legs are spread out, but she's gonna be at, it's gonna be right at 6 inches is what I'm looking at. Maybe a little over, maybe a little under because her legs are open, but she's right at 6 inches. You see the scale there. You get the idea. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the accessories. As you can see, the plasma gun is on her arm. That does not come off at all. And you see the other hand is a closed hand, right? Closed fist, right? Not even much of the fist. I guess you could say it's a fist. We'll go start with the effects first. We'll start with the shooting missile parts, right? We'll start with the small one first. This just connects right in front of there. It's very easy. Connects real snug in there. No hard way to put it in. Doesn't have to force it. But here it is. There you go. Translucent plastic, right? You get this pinkish color, just like the video game. There you have it. And if you put some light into it, we know it comes alive, or a little bit better, looks a little bit better, but there you have it. Translucent plastic, pegs in nicely into the plasma gun, and then you have this drip effect coming here, right? Not too bad. Okay, and let's go for the longer one. Basically the same concept, but you can see it there. You just have the drip looking a little different. The plasma looks just a tad bit different, right? There you go. I call it plasma because that's what it looks like, but they're saying shooting missile beam effect. I don't see it as the beam effect though. I think it's like the plasma. That's just me. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Beam effect, I think that looks a little different, and I think that's an orange color. Not sure, but take a look at that. Same concept, just a different shape, right? Pegs in nicely into the plasma gun. I'm sure that's a plasma gun. Okay, so let's take a look at the pairs of hands. You do see the hand that's on the figure. That's going to be your punch hand. Let's go ahead and look at the hand that is close to it. Here we go. Let's get my little tool out. I think it looks better when I have that. But these pegs are real small. And here you have it. There it is. Right? You have the emerald on top. Of course, the suit color is that orange color. Well, I would say what? Burnt orange, right? There you have it. Nothing to it. You could hold a weapon in there as well. There you have it. Shouldn't have a problem holding the weapon though. Okay? And there it is for the first one. And then he has one. Then she has one where she's giving me a thumbs up. Right? There you go. It's done well. The cuts are not bad. The emerald green color is good. And you have it. There you have it. Thumbs up. Mission complete. Wimp, 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 wimp. That's it on that one. Let's go for the more open hands, right? More relaxed. Okay, here we are. More relaxed hands, same concept, burnt orange, very good detail, not bad cuts. Green on top is fine. The hands look okay, looks like the suit. Not a bad job there. Got it, right? Okay. And we'll go for the last one on the hands, right? There we go. A little bit different, not as wide open, a little more relaxed. Same concept. Burnt orange, green emblem. Looks good. Right? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the opening of the gun. So when the gun opens up, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Let me look it up here. I got it. Hold on. Okay, so it's called the shooting missile part. That's what it's called. The shooting missile part, not the beam effects that we showed you earlier that I said was plasma instead of beam. This is the shooting missile part, right? So this is the shooting missile part. It, you know, when she's about to shoot, it opens up a tad a little bit. You stick it on the end here. Yeah, you stick it on the end, and it looks like it's about to shoot whatever she's got it on, right? It just opens up the gun in the front, right? That's it, basic. And you can put the plasma effect if you want, but this is supposed to pertain to when she's about to shoot whatever's about to come out. This opens up at the tip of the plasma gun, right? Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the morph ball. I am a fan of that. Sometimes they do it. This depends on how they do it, but looking at this one, it looks really good because of the fact that if you look at it, you do have the nice little colors in there, and also you have this reflection of green, which can be put light to it. You can have that reflection to show that it glows in the middle. You can add your effect when it rolls, having some kind of, you know, translucent plastic like you see, mimic it moving, right? Morph ball, not bad. Not bad at all. Love that green in the middle. Love that. Okay, there we have it. And of course, it does come with instructions if you need them, with the stand and how to put things together. You do have the stand. It does have its base, but I dropped it. Here it is. Okay, try to do too much at once, but we're doing it. Okay, here we are. There's your stand. That way you can do your Samus poses. She does her thing, doesn't she? And there you have it. You can do it any way you like. It's there for you, right? Your own imagination. Okay? And there you got it. And that will do it for the accessories. Okay, so let's check out the POA, the points of articulation. All right, head is on a ball and socket, but it's not that great. You take a look here. Very shallow. Very shallow. So movements are going to not be as good as you think they should be. Looking down is fine, but if you want to tilt to the side, that's quite all right. I'm pretty sure you start moving around, it comes off the hinge. So movements are very limited there. That's very poor. That's what you got, right? She needs to be able to look up. That's part of it, right? Okay, so you do have these on a, let me get this light here. These are on a ball and socket inside, right? So if you can, I can't get it. If you can see it in there, that's a ball and socket inside there, but it comes out into a fork, which holds the arm and the shoulder pad, right? So they're on ball and sockets of their self, on the same ball and socket. You can't see it barely. It's on the same ball and socket there, and then it comes out into a fork, and they're on ball and sockets of their own, including this, right? There you have it. So there's your movements there. Rotations are fine. And then you have these nice joints here, right? Kind of a disc. If you're looking at it, there they are. You have these two sides that are held by a pin, and it's very smooth transition. So it's going to give you your double joints instead of having those pins we all adore. You don't have that. You have the smooth transition right there. It's just very smooth, right? There you go. Not bad at all there. That's going to be the same on both sides. Okay, same what I talked about the arm here. Ball and socket inside, comes out into a fork, and the ball and socket for this, for movement, and ball and socket for the movement in the arm. So the arm can rotate and do what they need to do, right? It's all one piece. One of those break, gonna be an issue. Okay, so the body, you see that's very easy. I don't have to put any kind of pressure. It works just fine, rotates just fine, right? Ball and socket. Ball and socket, right? There you go. Well, that's a ball in a socket with some pins, right? There you go. You have it, right? Wouldn't say that's a ball in socket though, right? That's just a peg. The ball's there, but each sides of those are pegs. This is a peg, and one's inside's a peg. So, peg system, if you will. But gives you great rotations. Your legs, pretty, they're on dumbbell joints. Yep, dumbbell joints there. They move fairly decent. There they go, right? Go in there. There you have it. Nothing too crazy about that. Not a fan of these. They come out really easy. Can they come off easy? Not a fan of that, because once you want to do a thigh swivel of some sort, that's going to come apart. And here's another smooth transition. Just a bigger size of that disc. Very smooth. That'll be really good with poses because she's really flexible in this suit, right? Same on both sides. You're going to get the same movement in the feet. Same transition with that disc. It's very nice. Same here as well. And you do have a pivot in the toe. That pivot in the toe is there. Very nice. Okay. Looking at that. All together. Of course, this does, yes. Your rotations are going to be in them joints there. Crazy. But the articulation is very basic, but it's good enough to do the poses that SAMUS needs to do, I think. Not a bad job here. Let's take a look at the back. Does this move around? No, this is all stationary. Don't get crazy with that. Break that off, then you really have an ugly figure. But there you have it. That will do it for the articulation. Also on rockers. Sorry about that, guys. Little rockers there. All right. Okay. Okay, for the packaging, it's not really that great. Decent enough to hold the figure. You see the window cutout that has plastic in front. So the action figure and all the accessories are inside the bubble. And of course, you'll probably have your stand and some instructions. Looking at the bottom there where it says Figma, and you do see the product number is 133. And if you look closely at the bottom right corner, you'll see Metroid, the other M, right? Cool. Okay, so look at the side panel there. That's the figure. And then it's also product number 133, right? Other side panel, you'll have the figure in a different pose. And you'll see the product number there at the bottom, 133, right? And taking a look at the top panel, you do have the figure's in another pose. You see his plasma gum up, and you see Good Small Company with it as well. And of course, product number 133, right? And taking a look at the backside, there's the figure in many different poses. As you can see, the plasma gun, plasma shooting out, and also the morph ball, right? Okay, and if you want to pause that, you can, if you want to read that. Okay, and on the bottom, you do have some artwork on the bottom, product number 133. And if you need that barcode right there, you can. There goes your Good Small Company logo. Check that out if that helps you any. And that will do it for the packaging. Okay, for my pros and cons. For my cons are, I don't think it has enough accessories for the gun. Like, you have the part that it opens up. That's nice. Let's have something else besides the plasma. Let's have a beam of some sort, a different kind of beam. I don't like that the paint scheme is wrong where the suit's supposed to glow, showing that it's alive. And I do not like that the eyes are not seen behind the green visor. That's a must when it comes to a figure of this price, right? And also, I think the scaling is a little bit off. I think she needs to be a little bit bigger. And that's just my opinion. And what I do like about the figure is I do like the paint scheme, even though some parts are off, but it does look good. And the character looks good. The visor does look good. I love the morph ball. Love how they have that translucent plastic in it. I like the hands you get with the accessories. I do like the blast effects. And I also like that the articulation is not hard to do. I mean, the pose that I have in now, had her in now, it wasn't hard to do. And so that's really good that you can take your time and actually get really good poses and not really have a frustration of trying to do a pose. So above all, for me, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Guys, let me know what you give it.
And you guessed it, you can get it at Bigbadtoystore.com. Just check out Bigbadtoystore.com. So what are you waiting for? Check them out. And this brings us to the end of our video. If you found the video informational or you just simply enjoyed watching, please hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe button. And as always, this has been another toy review. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.